Gentleman yields back. Okay, and I recognize the gentleman from the great state of Texas, Mr. Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this hearing today on what I believe to be one of the most, probably the most important issue that our country faces right now, which is illegal immigration. Mr. Hauser, I've got a few questions for you. You were Chief of Staff for ICE, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What years were you there?
2021 to 2023.
So that was during the Biden administration, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Got it. So presumably you're well-versed in border security and immigration enforcement, is that right?
Yes, sir. I would say that I'm very aware. I also worked at CBP under the Obama administration. Yes, sir.
Got it. So you've got a lot of experience there. Can I ask you a few questions? In an interview with the Daily Blast on February 28th, 2024, you mentioned, quote, "You can't deter and punish your way to lowering encounters at the border," end quote. Do you think you were right or wrong about that?
100%, sir. What we've seen.
100% what? Right or wrong?
100% I was correct.
You were correct about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The idea that you just dismantle an immigration system is not, there was a mandate to the Trump administration.
Illegal alien border encounters are down 95% right now. I think you were wrong about that. You also said, quote, "The idea that you can turn off the border is just not factual." Do you think that was right or wrong?
Sir, the threats that we're still seeing across the border.
Do you think you were right or wrong about that statement?
What's that, sir?
My question is, were you right or wrong about that statement?
When you
That
turn
can
off
just
the
turn off
immigration
border?
system, sir, yes, you will not see encounters. Yes.
Well, southwestern border encounters are at a 15-year low under President Trump. Another thing that you mentioned, quote, "Just shutting off the border to asylum seekers is not going to do that," meaning close the border. What I think is going to do that is make it more erratic and sporadic for the sort of large surges of migrants you would see coming across the border. Do you think that was right or wrong?
100% correct. It was correct, sir. We're going to see that over the next couple years. Yes.
Border apprehensions are down now because President Trump has secured our border. He's stopped the flow of illegal aliens coming across our border and coming to our border. Do you think that we have a better or worse border situation now than we did under Joe Biden?
Sir, I believe the border is secure.
You believe the border is secure, that's right. But you were wrong about a lot of other things, about what would secure the border, is that right?
No, sir, it's only been 100 days.
You were wrong about what it would take to stop the flow of illegal aliens coming into the United States. You were wrong that secure enforcement that we're seeing under President Trump would stop the flow of illegal aliens. You ought to keep that in mind as you're going to the media and mouthing off about the president.
Can I answer that question?
Let me ask you another question. This is from a New York Times op-ed that you wrote just a month ago.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned, quote, "Federal law enforcement under President Trump is engaged in dangerous political theater." What about President Trump's law enforcement do you think is dangerous political theater? Do you think that,
sir, I think
seizing 235,000 pounds of fentanyl at the border is dangerous political theater?
Is a problem.
Do you think seizing fentanyl at our border is dangerous political theater? Do you know who Gilberto Avila Jara is?
So that's exactly where ICE should have their resources focused. That's exactly where
And
this
we did,
administration
and he
is
was
beginning to
arrested
turn them away
last
from.
month and charged with over 20 sex crimes against minors.
Yes, sir.
These were the kind of people that Joe Biden
2,000
and
CBP
under your
officers
leadership
off the
were
border
coming into
over
our
the next
country.
3 months doesn't make us more safe. Taking HSI agents away from drug interdiction. And
taking murderers and rapists off our streets makes the American people more safe. It's your testimony that taking murderers and rapists off our streets does not make us more safe?
What I'm saying,
is that what
sir,
you're telling me?
what we have heard from this administration is over the next few months, there's going to be thousands of law enforcement focused on non-criminal migrants.
We'll see. You were wrong about a lot of things. I don't put a whole lot of stock into that, candidly, and I don't think the American people do either. Do you support amnesty?
No, sir.
Do you support amnesty for illegal aliens?
No, sir.
In this New York Times article, you wrote, quote, "That means that the best solution for public safety is not mass deportations.
No, I
it's giving undocumented
immigration
I'm
support
speaking
for
right now.
migrants that need
This is my
protection
time,
under our
not
law.
yours. I'm speaking. It's giving undocumented immigrants who have been in the United States for a long time the opportunity to come forward, pay a fine, and gain legal status." That sounds a lot like amnesty to me, doesn't it, to you?
It's a process, sir, under the law that could exercise and allow them for migrants to come out of the shadows and then focus.
That's what amnesty is. This is a deliberate semantic obfuscation, and you know it, and I know it, and the American people know it as well. Do you think that illegal aliens should be given welfare once they get amnesty?
Sir, that's not my department.
You've got a lot of opinions on a whole lot of different things. You don't have an opinion on that?
Areas where I've worked for 20 years, sir. Yes, sir.
And finally, let me ask you, do you think that Biden was successful at stopping illegal immigration?
There was failures at the beginning of the Biden administration to deal with the flow of migrants post-COVID, and then there was failures of implementation of policies across all of the immigration system. That's the same problems we're seeing now. The idea that you can enforce your way out of immigration and the challenges that we see across the Western Hemisphere, it's not going to work.
We had an open border under Biden. The border's secure now. I think that's a successful Trump policy and a failure of the Biden administration. I yield my time back. Thank you.
A heated exchange unfolded during a congressional hearing as Texas Congressman Brandon Gill questioned a former senior immigration official over border security, asylum policy, and enforcement under the Biden and Trump administrations. After yielding time, the chair recognized Representative Brandon Gill of Texas, who opened his remarks by calling illegal immigration the most critical issue facing the country today. Gill directed his questions to Mr. Hauer, a former chief of staff at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, who served from 2021 to 2023 during the Biden administration. Hauer confirmed his tenure and also noted prior service at Customs and Border Protection under the Obama administration. Gill pressed Hauer on past public comments, citing a February 2024 interview in which Hauer stated that enforcement alone could not deter illegal border crossings. When asked directly whether he stood by that assessment, Hauer responded that he was 100% correct. The congressman strongly disagreed, arguing that illegal border encounters have dropped dramatically under President Trump and pointing to what he described as historic lows in southwest border crossings. Gill challenged Hauer's claim that the border cannot simply be turned off, asserting that strict enforcement policies have done exactly that. Hauer maintained his position, saying that shutting down asylum pathways would only lead to more unpredictable migration surges. He warned that long-term enforcement-only strategies would fail to address the root causes driving migration. Gill countered by declaring that the border is now secure under President Trump and accused Hauer of being wrong about what it takes to stop illegal immigration. When asked directly, Hauer acknowledged that the border is currently secure but rejected the claim that his earlier assessments were incorrect. The exchange escalated when Gill referenced a recent New York Times opinion piece written by Hauer, in which he described federal law enforcement actions under President Trump as dangerous political theater. Gill challenged that characterization, citing drug seizures, fentanyl interdictions, and the arrest of violent offenders, including individuals accused of sex crimes against minors. Gill argued that focusing enforcement resources on criminals makes Americans safer and accused the previous administration of allowing dangerous individuals into the country. He dismissed Hauer's criticisms of current enforcement efforts and said the American people do not share those concerns. The congressman also questioned Hauer on immigration reform, asking whether he supported amnesty for illegal immigrants. Hauer denied supporting amnesty, but Gill cited language from Hauer's op-ed advocating for legal pathways for undocumented immigrants who have lived in the U.S. for years, language Gill said amounted to amnesty by another name. Gill accused Hauer of engaging in what he called semantic obfuscation, and pressed further on whether legalized immigrants should receive welfare benefits. Hauer responded that such decisions fall outside his professional responsibilities. In his final question, Gill asked whether President Biden was successful in stopping illegal immigration. Hauer acknowledged early failures in the Biden administration's response and ongoing systemic challenges, but reiterated his belief that enforcement alone cannot solve migration issues across the Western Hemisphere. Gill closed by sharply disagreeing, stating that the U.S. experienced an open border under President Biden and a secure border under President Trump. He called the current enforcement strategy a success and the previous administration's approach a failure before yielding back his time. The exchange highlights the deep divide in Washington over immigration enforcement, border security, and the role of asylum policy, issues that remain central as lawmakers continue to debate the nation's immigration future.